Okay. What is scale? Basically, say 1:1. 1:1 means if this is 1 centimeters. Okay, this distance is 1 centimeters. I am representing on paper as 1 centimeters. Clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Standard 1 centimeter I am representing as 1 centimeter, so I take a scale and I find that barabar hai. So this is actually a real time scale of 1:1. Now I wish to represent this 1 centimeter as something smaller. I cannot always actually represent everything in the same measurement. How do I represent 1 meter on this piece of screen or on your sheet of paper? What is the size of your sheet of paper? Has anyone measured A1 sheet? What is the size? कोई बता सकता है?
21 centimeters by 20.
A1 हुआ.
21 centimeters by 21 centimeters.
75 by 25. 75 by 55.
Yes. If you are talking about your cartridge sheet, that is around 750 mm by 550 mm. I wish to represent 1 meter or 1000 mm on this sheet. Doing it at a scale of 1:1 is going to be difficult, right? I cannot represent 1 meter when my sheet itself is 750 mm. 1000 mm, how do I place it? So I will need to reduce the scale. How do I do that? For example, I wish to represent this at a scale of 1:10. Yes. Where were we? Screen is visible?
Yes.
So 1:10 10, I wish to represent 1000 mm in a scale of 1:10. How do I do that? Let me just ask you this way. 1/10 is equal to watt by 1000. How much is this watt or X? Anyone?
100.
100. X is equal to 100. You have your regular scale with it. So this 100 is what? 100 mm, right?
Yes, sir.
Clear? 100 mm. So I'm trying to represent 1 meter in a scale of 1:10. That becomes, so this one, say it is originally 1 meter. I wish to represent it in a scale of 1:10. It will look as, on paper, this will look as 10 centimeters. Have I made something clear?
Yes, sir.
Others also. I mean, scale is very important when you're working in any type of map-based work.
Yes, sir, understood.
What is the size of a car? Can anyone tell me? Approximately, what is the size of a car? It will be around 1 say 8 meters by around 4.5 meters, depending on the size. Probably for a sedan, this would be the size. Now, to bring it on a piece of paper is quite difficult. And that is where our scale and such stuff comes in handy. You remember in our first lecture, I had mentioned about what are our conventional scales. You guys remember that? Anyone? First sheet. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What are the conventional scales? Anyone? किसी को याद है क्या? I probably said 1:10, 1:20, 1:50.
100.
So if I want to draw 1 meter at a scale of 1:500, how much will it be on a piece of paper? Anyone? Anyone can tell me?
2 centimeter. Sorry, 2 mm. No, 2 centimeters. Sorry, sir. Oh, I understood.
Anyone?
1/5 part of the one scale.
One scale means what? How much? On a piece of paper, how much will it look like? जल्दी बताओ, जल्दी बताओ. It's a simple maths, simple ratio proportion.
2 centimeter.
How will it be 2 centimeter, dear? Tell me. X is equal to how much?
2 mm.
Got it, Satvik? I am taking this class for you guys. Can you tell me? Are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
Shiva?
Yes,
Who
sir.
said no?
Yes, sir.
Anyone has having problem? So 1 meter on a piece of paper, if I wish to represent it, aha, oh, oh. Can you guys see the PowerPoint now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So I'm talking about representing 1 meter in a scale of 1 is to 500, right? Okay, so we found out that 1 is to 500 if I'm talking about, and I wish to represent it on a scale on, this is our 1 meter, 1000 mm, and 1 is to 500 scale. So x is equal to, we found out, is 2 mm.
Two.
So whatever was 1 meter, which would be outside this sheet of paper, now it is 2 mm. This is 1 meter on a scale of 1 is to 500. I wish to represent 1 meter in a scale of 1 is to 2000. How much is it? This is equal to
0.5
Half.
mm.
half mm. I mean, physically, probably I won't be able to show it here, but this is now your 1 meter scale. 1 is to 2000. What is the unit of a scale? What is the unit of a scale?
No unit.
Yes?
Unitless.
No units. It is unitless. It is unitless. You are given a door of dimension, probably door. I have given a door of dimension 1 meter by how much height? probably 2.1 meters. Length by height. Okay. So how much will it be at a scale of 1:10 on your piece of paper? One meter at a scale of 1:10, how much will it appear to be?
Sir, 100 mm.
And vertically?
210 mm, sir.
210 mm. This one will be 100 mm on paper, but to remove this confusion, what I will do is I will erase this. This one is your 1 meter. 1 meter. On paper, probably this one would look like 100 mm. Vertically, if this one is, say, this one is actually 2.1 meter. But when you're drawing it on your scale, which scale are you using? Are you guys having triangular scale, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
At near your hand, do you have it near your hands?
Yes, sir.
Just
Yes,
now
sir.
check. Just check now. And you have your conventional वो 15 centimeter वाला scale भी, I believe all of you will be having that 6 inches 15 centimeter scale. All of you must be having it nearby from your geometry box of your school, right? Now that one, that is why I suggested not to use that scale. What is the scale of the 15 centimeter geometry box scale? What is the scale of that? That ruler which you have in your geometry box, what is the scale in that?
Sir, 1:1.
It is at 1:1. At what scale do you look at yourself in the mirror?
1:1.
Yes. But at what scale do you look at yourself in a photograph? It is not 1:1, right?
Yes, sir.
In your mobile photograph, when you're looking at yourself, try to be clear, everyone. Please. Scale is quite important. You'll have to follow through it all your life in architecture. So your photograph is at a much smaller scale than 1:1. Okay. Now you take your triangular scale in your hands, you would see that I think there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 different scales are mentioned there. There is 1:100, 1:250, 1:400, something like that. Can you clarify on that, Satvik or Yazura, if you're there?
Sir, both are absent.
Satvik was there, no? SS, who was it? SS?
That's Pratmesh, sir.
Prathamesh. Prathamesh, can you tell me then?
What, sir?
What's that, man? Do you have the triangular scale with you?
Uh, yes, sir, but I don't see that scales.
Just turn it around There are probably 6 surfaces on the triangular scale. It's probably in this shape on,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
right? It's probably in that shape. And let me change the color. Here you would be written, say 1 is to 100 or 1 is to 10. Here probably you are written 1 is to 20, 1 is to 200. Here probably 1 is to 50, 1 is to 5, 1 is to 500. Can you see that?
Yes,
All
sir.
of you. Others are in agreement,
Yes.
Yes, sir.
right? So 1 is to 1 and 1 is to 10 are quite similar. This one I'm trying to represent here. Just let me finish it. 210 mm. This one I drew at a scale of 1 is to 10. If I wish to draw at a scale of 1 is to 20, how much will this 100 mm appear to be at a scale of 1 is to 20?
5 mm.
1 is to 20.
50
I'll try.
mm.
Yes, 50 mm. Don't jump at answers, Asif. Okay, how much will this one be?
50 mm.
The vertical
100,
one,
105.
right? If I wish to draw the same thing at 1 is to 50 mm, 1 is to 50, how much will length and height? How much will be the length horizontally? How much will it be? L will be Dipti, you there? Tell me.
So actually, I was having a lag. Can you please show again?
Okay, we'll get to that. Others, you guys there? Anyone? 1 is to
20.
20. Thank you, Jarasan, right?
Yes, sir.
Jarasan says 20. And how much will it be here?
42.
42. Getting the clarity. I'm trying to talk about the scales. On paper, if I try to measure with my 1 is to 1 scale, 1 is to 1 scale, if I use, this one will be 20 mm on paper. But actually, it is representing this one. I believe the cursor. The cursor is visible? No. Is the cursor visible for you guys?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Seema, you're able to understand?
Yes, sir.
If I try to see at 1 is to 1 scale, if I use that ruler will actually show me this as 20 mm, whereas it represents 1 meter. One is to 100 How much does this one become? L becomes how much?
10 mm.
10 mm. And how much does the H become?
21.
21. You understood, Deepthi?
Yes, sir.
Whenever we are going for the smaller scale, you remember in our PPT in class, I had mentioned about the different scales, and there we had seen class. Is the class lecture visible on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Just a minute. Is opening, take a little bit of time. Whatever, I'll just try to draw here. If you refer that paper, probably the second slide when I'm talking about doors, you just check out there is what is the standard thickness of a wall? Anyone knows? Any brick wall, what is the standard thickness?
5 inch.
4.5 inch.
4.5 inch. Of course, it varies depending on where the wall is. Let's say, for example, an internal wall is probably at around 5 inch, 4.5 inch. Converting it into mm turns out to be around 120 mm. Okay, your internal wall. The external wall is probably at around 230 mm, or working wise, it is 250 mm. So when we are making the wall at a scale of 1:10, at a scale of say 1:10, this 250 mm seems or looks like 2.5 mm. Clear? Or 25 mm. Which one? It will look like at a scale of 1:10 as 25 mm. Am I talking right? Your 250 mm wall will look like this at a scale of 1:10. Are you guys clear? If you guys are not clear, just let me know. Others? Clear?
Yes, sir.
So that is actually 1:10 Whereas in dimension on your scale, on your regular scale, this would appear as 25 mm. Whereas the measurement actually is 1:2, is 250 mm. So when you're trying to draw the door in this case, the level of detail would be a lot more. You'd be able to see everything in the door. Remember, there was one sketch which I had shared. The screen is visible, right, to you guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Zoom in. You can see here 1:100. Can you see the cursor? The level of detail that is visible is quite less as compared to the level of detail that is visible at the lower ones when I'm talking about 1:50, 1:20, 1:10. Can you guys see that?
Yes, sir.
If you guys have problem, just let me know. I'll be able to help clarify. I cannot see your faces. It is quite difficult for me to understand. So if you guys are having problem, you told me yesterday, I'll be very glad to help it out. But you have to tell me that you are having issues somewhere. All of you guys who are attending today are clear till now.
Sir, but
Yes, sir.
we have given
Yes.
measurements only for the outer cover. Like if there is a door, then only door leaf is given. So how the other parts scale we'll know about? Like we other measurements we don't have. Like for the arches,
Okay.
only the arc span is given. So we know the diameter. We got the diameter, like what will be the diameter in the scale proportion. But the other parts like the keystone and all.
You take it approximate for the time being. Don't look at the measurements. That is why in the arches I have removed most of the things. I just want you guys to know what are the different, classes of arches.
Yes.
The keystone and everything we can forget. But one thing you must be careful about when you're completing this doors and openings sheet, you should mention the scale beside every drawing. Beside every drawing, you should mention the scale. That's why I've given the scale separately. You have to mention what is the scale of the drawing. It's quite
Like
essential.
in which
Yes.
position we have to mention it? Like below the name of the particular or in somewhere
Say,
there?
probably this is the swing door, and at this level you can mention it. Probably the font size would be much lesser as compared to how you have mentioned this swing door. If this is at 5 mm on a scale of 1:1, then probably this one would be mentioned at a scale of 3 mm.
And only directly we'll put the numbers like 1:20, 1:10, or we should mention scale equals.
No, you should mention scale a little bit away, 1:20.
Okay, sir.
This is a metric scale. There are several other scales which you will have to follow through. There is the graphic scale also. This scale you guys have understood, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
When you look at your triangular scale, I just lost myself there. So when you look at your triangular scale, just turn it around. you see this 1:20 mentioned somewhere. There probably wherever 0 is written, that is fixed, but wherever 1 is written, that is probably quite small, much closer to the 0 actually. This is where probably 1 is written when you're looking at 1:20 or 1:200 scale. Can you guys see that? Just pull the scale around, go to 1:20.
Yes, sir. It's very close.
Here, probably, if you guys are getting confused, just it would be very good if you could get it clarified. Clarified better. This is what it looks like in 1:10. When I'm talking about 1:20, this is how it will be. Getting me, students? Pratibha, you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can we complete the sheet then?
So then, like, before using the triangular scale, first we have to make the diagram in a particular, like, 1:10 scale. Then we have to compare it and draw it on the sheet.
Nah, re Baba, not that way. Anyone can tell me how do you draw it then at a scale of 1:20? Anyone?
Sir, we have the dimensions like for arches, we have got the span dimension. So we
How
will
much is
scale
it?
it down accordingly.
How much is
So
the span?
I don't remember.
Sorry?
Just a minute.
Probably it's 2 meters or 3 meters.
Yes, sir. So whatever is the scale, we will scale it down accordingly and then draw it.
So you use the triangular scale. This is where is the 0. And probably I have said that you have to make it at a scale of 1:20. I don't remember exactly. It's probably at 1:20. So I will go to 0, select that 1:20 scale, and probably I will come here and then here. So this is I'll change the page. New slide. Screen is visible, right? So I am making an arch. I'm making an arch at a scale, a round arch at a scale of say 1:20. Span I have given as say 2 meters. At a scale of 1:20, if I have to draw, I will select my triangular scale and then I'll go to the 1:20 scale. I will see the markings now. This probably is 0. Great. And this probably is 1. And this probably is 2. I'm talking about 1:20 scale. Does it look proportional or not? No.
it's okay, I think.
Wait a minute. Just give me a minute. I'll be right back. Just give me a minute, please. Break. You guys are there?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, thank you. It probably would look something like this. This is where your 2 is, and this is where your 1 is. This is probably where your 3 is, and this is probably where your 4 is. I'm talking about a scale of 1:20. The one that I had done earlier, that was probably at a scale of 1:10.
I think instead of
You guys are with,
we have
Huh.
50, 100, 150, 200.
You have 200, right?
Like 1
You
is
have
to 20.
200. Okay.
Sir,
1
instead
is to
of like
20.
1 to 50, 100 and
Can
Tell
I
me
send,
what are the scales that are mentioned there?
so can I send an image in the group WhatsApp of the
Please
scale?
do it.
Yes.
Yeah, please do it in the WhatsApp group, please. Asif, I didn't see the ends. Can you show the end? At the end, the scale is written.
I have sent.
Ah, so you have written here 1:20 and 1:200. If others can also see the group image. You have a scale of 1:10 and 1:100 written there.
Yes, sir. Like one side it is 1 is to 20, and then below it is written 1 is to 200, and the other side 1 is to 10, and then 1 is to 100.
Okay. Now, Jarasan, you're there, right?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, there are some. Can you just help me out here? Help us out actually. Take the 1:10 scale and draw a line of 1:1 scale which measures 5 centimeters. Can you do that?
Yes, sir.
Do it. I mean, do it, please.
Okay, sir.
Please do it on a piece of paper. And I would suggest that all of you other guys also try doing it. Take the 1:10 scale, the triangular scale itself, and now do 1:1 scale, make a line of 5 centimeters. All of you guys are with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay? Just a minute. Fine. Now try to draw with that same scale 1:10 in a scale of 1:10, 5 centimeters. Can you do it? On the same page, try drawing it. Banaya?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Others? Can you just take a snap of it and send it on WhatsApp?
Yes,
No,
sir.
don't do it right now. Don't do it right now. Then let me give you something a little more interesting. Take the scale of your triangular scale and draw that same 5 centimeters in 1:2.
1:2.
5 centimeters in 1:2. Others also, please try to comply with this. It will be good for you.
Sir, I think 1:2 is not there in a triangular scale.
But you have to do it.
Okay.
What is there in the triangular scale? 1:20 is there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 1:20 is there.
Now convert that to 1:2. That is where your common sense comes in.
हो गया सर.
हो गया?
Yes, sir.
1:20 में बना सकते हो जरा सन?
कितना सर?
1:20 में can you make 5 centimeters?
Yes, sir.
And after you do that, side में scale लिख के just send a screenshot of that on WhatsApp, please. Could you find 1:2 on the scale, Asif? Rafi, you're following?
Get it, actually.
You didn't. Rafi, you're following?
Yes, sir.
Could you find 1:2? Could you do the same exercise and send it on WhatsApp, please?
Sir, I tried 1:20 and it looks really small. I don't know how to do 1:2.
You have to do 1:2.
Yes, sir. I will
That
calculate
is
on.
the challenge actually.
Yes,
Pratibha,
sir.
could you handle it?
Yes,
Pratibha,
sir. Yes, sir.
can you send it on WhatsApp? Let me see how we are understanding till now.
Okay, sir. But sir, I
Yasura,
didn't have the skill.
you don't have the scale yet.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. Prathamesh,
Yes, sir.
have you done the exercise till now?
Um, so the same problem is happening with me like Rafi sir. If it's 1:2, then it's too small.
I think Jarasan has shared something. Let's see.
No, sir.
Deepthi has shared. Deepthi, what
Yes,
is
sir.
the crisscross? That is 1:10 or
So 10. I wrote it.
10? Okay, fine. Not an issue. You guys are able to understand what Deepthi has done here.
Yes, sir.
You don't have the scale, I agree. But somewhere the image that previously our friend Asif shared. Asif, did you share 1:20? Right?
Yeah.
So where is 1:2 in this?
So actually in 1:1, we have to do the half of it.
1:1, where do you do half of it? Whose half?
The measurement that we have taken for 1:1 will the half of it will do the work of 1:2.
Great. Are other guys clear on it? Seema, Weber, you guys are clear on this? 1:2 is half of 1:1. Clear? Jay,
Yes, sir.
clear till now? So just see here. You have written the image that Prathamesh has shared. It says 1:20. Now make it 1:2, and where will your 5 centimeters be? क्या नाम है इसका? Asif. Asif, just
Yes.
see here, Rafi. Just I'm telling you guys, all of you. You have in the scale 0 and 50. The next number that I see is 50.
Yes.
Right? That is at a scale of 1:1.
1.
Now,
Sorry.
1:20.
20.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, if I talk about 1:2, where is 5? If I talk, sorry, just take a step back. That 50 is 50 watt. At a scale of 1:20, that 50 is 50 watt.
So 50 centimeter.
Mm.
50 centimeters.
1000.
How can it be?
No, 1000 cent.
1000 centimeter, 1000 mm has been reduced to a scale of 1:20. Rafi, you're following? No? Confused? Rafi, no. Asif, confused?
Getting to it. I'll take some time.
Just have to practice on your own. I cannot have it through. Rafi, you're getting it?
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
Got it? Then tell me where is 5 or 5 centimeters in the scale of 1:2 mentioned on your triangular scale. Where is 5 centimeters mentioned there on your triangular scale? When you're looking at the scale of 1:20, when I'm trying to find 1:2, where is 5 centimeters mentioned?
Sir, I can't get you, sir. Can you repeat?
5 centimeters. Where is it mentioned? When I'm trying to look at 1:2 scale, where is 5 centimeters mentioned?
Sir, at 2.5 centimeter.
At 1:200, at that 50 mark, 5 is written. What is that 5?
Sir, that is 5 meters, sir. Converted
meters.
in the ratio of 1:200.
1:scale on the scale of 1:200, that is 5 meters.
Yes, sir.
Where is 5 centimeters mentioned at a scale of 1:2? Dipti, can you help us out?
Even I thought it was 2.5 centimeter, but
No.
it's wrong.
No, you have done it right. You have done it right, I believe. Jarasant,
Yes.
can you help us out?
सर मीन्स किस पे सर बताना है 1:20 पे
1:2 के स्केल में 5
हाँ।
सेंटीमीटर कहाँ पे है?
सर लास्ट पे
हाँ,
लास्ट पॉइंट
लास्ट पॉइंट कैसे होगा? जहां पे 50 लिखा हुआ है, where 50 is written, where 50 is written at a scale of 1:2, there is 5 centimeters. It has to be half of where actually 5 centimeters is on a scale of 1:1. Asif?
It will be on the same where 50 is written.
Yes, that is at 1:2, 5 centimeters. 1:2 scale, 5 centimeters will be where 50 is written.
Yes, sir. I get it now, sir. You just remove the zeros.
Yes. As you said, that 5 for 1:200 indicates 5 meters. You said it right, Rafi?
Yes, sir.
That is 200 at a scale of 1:200. That is 5 meters. So
Yes,
1:20, it is 50 centimeters. So
Yes,
at a
sir.
scale of 1:2, that is 5
5
centimeters.
centimeter. Yes, sir.
Jay, did you understand?
यस सर
If you are having issues, problems in understanding this thing, just let me know. I'm telling all of you guys again, I'll be very happy to resolve. Even after practice, you have issues, just let me know. Who is there? Vaibhav, clear?
Yes, sir.
Yazura?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Clear.
Yes, sir.
So can you help us out with this 1:6 scale? 1:6 scale is not there probably in your triangular scales, right?
Sir, it is there in mind. 1:2 some. So 1 second, sir.
1:6 is probably not written. Probably
Sir, it's
1:6
written 1:33 whole 1/3.
I don't know. You bought that article 802.02.0221 or something else.
No, sir, that I don't know, sir. Actually,
It would be written
but
on the scale itself, on the yellow side. On the yellow side, it would be written. You can just check it. I hope it's a
yeah.
rotating triangular scale, right?
Excuse me, sir.
It's the rotating triangular scale that you have purchased. It's
So
a
once again,
triangular scale, right?
yeah, triangular, sir. It is. Yes, sir. It is written. Articulate 802.021.
021.
Yes, sir.
I don't know whether it is in the scale of 1 inches or
No, sir. It's in
centimeters.
all the units are in either in centimeters or in meters.
That's fine then. Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Try to follow it. I mean, I don't want any confusion. You can have confusions. Just try to get it resolved with me or amongst yourselves.
Yes, sir.
Just hold on, please. Hello. हेलो हाँ जी बोलिए जी So okay, you guys have understood till now. I hope the scale part is quite a bit clear, something you are able to understand at present.
Yes, sir.
Jay, Vaibhav, I
Yes,
hope
sir.
you have understood till now.
Yes, sir.
So that is where you might observe one part is wherever more details are expected, the scale is quite low on the lower side. Wherever lesser amount of detail are expected, I am giving you a scale of say 1 is to 50 or 1 is to 20. Where more details are expected, I am giving you a scale of 1 is to 10. You guys are getting me?
Yes, sir.
Just check it out on the sheet. If for some reason you are unable to fit everything on one sheet, you can prepare a second sheet and submit. Not an issue. Let's have it this way. Tomorrow morning, I should have this sheet in our portal. Day after tomorrow, I'll take your class. Clear?
Sir, in the round arch and pointed arch, the arch span is not given.
You can take anything. Not an issue with me. Don't make it 50 centimeter span. Make it a 2 meter span and reduce the scale. That is just for, as I said, for understanding.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
If I have not mentioned, take any scale, but mention the scale. It is very essential. Many a time you guys would forget to write the dimension. It happens. It happens with me also. With a professional also it would happen. But if you mention the scale, it becomes very handy for me to understand the dimensions somehow. That is why mentioning the scale is very essential. You know, my father was a civil engineer and he had this final year drawing, the final submission for his 5-year civil engineering program. They had this drawing submission, and his drawing was quite good, nothing to brag about. But out of 100, he scored 95. The reason, when he asked his teacher, and that is why I also very much insist on the scale, is the reason the teacher gave is you haven't written the scale on your drawings. My father's argument at that point was the scale has been asked in the question and I have drawn according to that. Still, it doesn't satisfy because you have to mention the scale on the piece of paper on which the drawing has been done. Nobody is going to look at your question paper at the end of the day. Scale is very much essential. It's a good thing that you guys brought it up today, and I really appreciate that you guys, though a little bit late, are trying to pay attention. I really appreciate it for you guys in the class.
Sir, then one more doubt, like if we have mentioned the name, then in on the side we have mentioned the scale, but without the actual, like in like only the writing the scale will not serve the purpose. But like if we don't know the arc span and something and all, so should we mention that too?
Better mention the dimensions. Better mention the dimensions. It is always great if you have the dimensions, but sometimes what happens, Asif, is you didn't do the dimension of, say, the style. Probably you didn't do the dimensioning of the style.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Then what? Then my scale comes in handy. If you look at the format, at the corner, there is units mentioned probably in the format.
Yeah, it's like in the top it is written, like in the arches, if I say, then in top it is written use scale 1:20, and in below it is written arc span equals to 2000 mm.
Yes, so you mentioned that. No, I'm talking about your sheet format, the sheet that you submit. You have submitted 2 sheets. There is a format at the corner.
Yeah.
In that format, there is units mentioned. 4 छोटे-छोटे box हैं.
Yeah, scale, I think scale is there.
There are 4 small boxes here. Jarasan, can you help us out? Probably there is a scale.
Yes, sir.
There is units also probably, if I remember it right. Something here and something here.
Sir, I think it's only scale.
No, there are 4 options. Just check it. So that is where when you mention that the work is done in millimeters, becomes quite useful for me that you mentioned probably in your diagram that this is 2 meters, 2000 mm. And you mentioned the scale here. Okay. Now, I will find it very useful for me to understand if there is some other line inside. If there is any other line inside for which you didn't do the dimension or didn't think of doing it. Might not be due to forgetting it, but probably you didn't do it. Now I can bring in a scale and measure it. Okay, this one is probably 50 mm or 500 mm. I can get the dimension, probably accurate as well. If I don't have a scale, probably a guesswork, but otherwise I get the accurate measurement. You guys are clear?
Yes, sir.
That probably is the center line. So now I know how much is this. Probably this is 400.
Sir, are you sharing some content?
Sorry?
Are you sharing some content on the whiteboard?
I did something. Could you not see?
No, sir.
यार, ये बंद कैसे हो गया? Can you see now?
Yes, sir.
So probably you did the dimension of these two red lines and you wrote 2000 and you wrote a scale here. Now I just wish to know what is the distance between the blue line and the red line. So I'll get the scale that you have mentioned here and I will measure it and say, okay, this is 400 mm or 500 mm. The center line probably is another helpful thing. Pratibha, you understood? Seema?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any questions, just let me know. But I want the sheet submitted by tomorrow evening. I cannot extend it much because there will be one more topic, bricks, which you have to cover. And that I will cover day after tomorrow.
So like for the diagrams that we'll make, like if it is a door, then we'll make a center line too.
Not necessary. I'm just saying for my own reference. You don't need to make the center line everywhere.
Okay.
Not don't get confused with it, please.
So then finally, the things will be like the diagram. Then below will be the name. Then on the right side, there will be the scale.
Scale that will be with the diagram itself.
And sir, like you also told to label the different parts. So like if there's a arch and the extra doors, then archivolt, these parts. So will we show the same parts as it is shown in the PDF that you shared? Like
Yes.
arrows.
Yes. Yes. You can use the same PDF for reference. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yeah, this one. Like we'll make and sir, this in the intrados part, there are kind of beam structure. So like, which are joined the
निशांत से हमारी क्लास चल रही, हम अभी से
Sorry, tell me.
हाँ देखा जॉय भेज रहे, हाँ
so the vertices of the rectangles joining at the center of the arch. So should we draw that parts also?
Yes, but probably with a lighter line. The orange lines you're talking about, right?
No, yeah, orange line and with that the rectangles over there.
Rectangle कहाँ दिखता है?
Sir, the orange line जहाँ पर vertex पे meet कर रहा है वहाँ पर like in intrados there is a rectangle.
वो rectangle नहीं है. That is probably you're talking about this part.
Yeah, sir. That continuous rectangles like a steps it is there, na continuous.
हाँ दिख रहा है.
So like if you start from center and move through the orange line, there's a vertex.
Okay.
That like intrados एक rectangle के अंदर बन रहे हैं. The word intrados is written inside a rectangle. I'm talking about
That's
that.
probably a stone.
Oh, so should we draw that?
Yeah, draw the entire part. No, what are you asking?
Okay, sir.
उतना भी डिटेल में मत जाओ. ये बनाना है और ये नहीं बनाना है. Make it at least tomorrow. If somebody asks you what is an extra dose, don't get confused.
Yes, sir.
That is what is the intent. It is not like कि कितना direct as it is copy करना है या नहीं करना है. That is not the intent. Understanding, Rafi?
Yes, sir.
It is not the intent that everything what it appears on the paper you have to replicate it quite correctly. My concept is you have to understand. That is what is the comment I had given in the previous paper also. Many of you hadn't done the through stones. I told you the concept of the through stones. Sections. The sections are not exactly matching where the section line is. Don't make those errors. Verticals. If I probably mentioned that there shouldn't be any vertical lines matching in your masonry sheet. I probably mentioned it during the lecture that if you're drawing the rubble, it shouldn't be like the vertical lines, they shouldn't match. But many of you did it in such a way that the vertical lines are matching perfectly. Those errors I don't wish to see. When you're trying to write extra dose, don't make it with the interdose and mark it. With this, probably I can end the class because I have another one coming up after this. Can we?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Fine with others.
Yes, sir.
Pratibha,
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank
Sunday,
Yes, sir.
Ramesh, Vaibhav, clear
Yes,
till
sir.
now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you then. I hope the sheet gets submitted by 12 o'clock tomorrow. Day after tomorrow, we'll have a lecture on bricks in the morning. And that will be the last topic we will cover, and there will be another sheet on it. So be there, your semester is almost nearing end. Did you guys get any update on joining back here till now?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Not yet. Okay. I'll end the class then. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
you.
you, sir.
Okay, take care.